Sup, y'all? This is In the Image Clothing Company music. My name is Evan Strong, the founder of In the Image Clothing Company, a company where we address the human body's natural function, coming at it through the skeletal system and just allowing the body to work in everything that we do. The body only works the way that it does, and everything we do in our lives, we have to do all that we can to work around our body's only workings. And yeah, so we do that mostly through clothing. We will have clothing available made out of 100% natural materials, staying centered, fitting correct, allowing the body to work. But we also have the music side of things, okay? Here we address setups of instruments. We talk about positions of the body when we play, when we sing, and whatever else we get into. I also make music, and that's cool. So, yeah. What I'm talking about within this here video, today is the 16th of January, 2025, is this thing right here, the pointer finger. The pointer finger when playing guitars, okay? Okay, I've talked about the G string on guitars, how we need that little compensation there because the G string is thicker than the ones next to it, so it sticks up. So within the saddle, this white piece, we need a little divot, a little compensation that you can see within Frank here. Let me get it against like the darkness of my shirt so you can see. And then ideally it's all set up the way that the body's going to work. I have my video under In the Image Clothing Company music titled Full Nylon String Guitar Setup, and another video that I made under In the Image Clothing Company music titled How to String a Nylon String Guitar. You can see that here, but I go through and show it within that video. Now, what we are talking about with the pointer fingers is, as I always discuss, within anything, about anything, when it comes to the hands, just because it's the case, our hands are rounded. There's a radius to our hands, a rounding to them, and we need to incorporate that within everything that we do in our lives, or else we are just going to get cramped up bodies. And the only reason the body cramps is if you're trying to get it to do something that it doesn't. The human body should never cramp. That just means there's something you're forcing it to do. That's all that means, really. So yeah, on the main company side of things, just In the Image Clothing Company, I talk about the anatomy of the human body and I go into it in depth. I don't mean to be like prideful, but I know what I'm talking about with the human body. I know the natural workings of it, and I speak out of experience, personal experience. My personal body works well, and in the past, many times it did not at all. So, yeah, bro. Our pointer fingers are huge, and they get used so much, but it's strange because that's not actually in line with our wrist. The pinky is. But we have things like spray bottles and triggers to things, and we hold things that are unnatural, and so the pointer gets into a very unnatural position. And because this is how the hand really works, is like this, and we're using things like this so much nowadays, you know, and stuff. So yeah, the pointer finger is huge, and it needs to be in, oh, there we go, I was out of the frame. It needs to be in a little bit farther than that middle finger, because that's how it would naturally be, wrapping around the thumb. And then there's your neutral wrist from your pinky, okay? As if you're just laying your arm down on something, right? Neutral wrist. Not neutral here. Neutral here at the pinky. So, not the pointer finger. When we're playing nylon string guitar, that G needs to be lower, as I've shown. But one big thing is also, sometimes you'll get the neck of a guitar to be so wide. I've had 53 mil wide nuts on guitars before. 53 millimeters wide. This one's probably like 48, I think. This is a CGS 102A by Yamaha, half-sized, custom radius by me. But if you get too wide, again, your pointer finger is like this, right? Working with your thumb, just because that's how your hand works. And I don't get to tell you that. Don't believe me on anything, but that's just how the hand works. Now, you take that and you put it on a fretboard, and then you try to get to the other side of something that's really big, and now your thumb has to either compensate, and there goes your shoulder, or your pointer finger has to really compensate, and there goes your shoulder and the rest of your body, okay? So necks of guitars need to be actually decently narrow. Like I'm saying, this, I think as far as I'm aware, you can look up the specs of this actual model, but I think it's a 48 millimeter width right here. And that's good. That's good, man. But the thing is, I'm 6'2" tall for some reference. So I've got larger hands than most people across the earth, just statistically. And so if your hand's even smaller, which again, most people just would be, just saying for the case of trying to get around the neck of a guitar, yeah, then you need to even focus more on not playing a full-size classical guitar because they're just massive, and there goes your entire body's physical health. And yeah, don't believe me, but that's just the case. I know they've been around for however long they have, and I don't care. It's still doing what it's doing to people, whether it's today or thousands of years ago or any time in the future. The hand works in line. And the wider you get, the more you're just working out of the body's, working out of, as in apart from the body's only working position, which is here, not clear out here on this big old thing. The shoulders, and you see classical guitars like this, right? But anyway, the point is that pointer finger is the one that's getting like stretched away from the thumb, because the thumb's on the back of the neck or wrapped up around the neck or wherever it is. Don't worry about technique. Just let your body work and be comfortable, and setup of the instrument is the big thing, right? So, and there's my setup video, full nylon string guitar setup. But the thing is, if, you know, the neck of the guitar actually gets between your thumb and your pointer because you're just trying to get to a wider neck, everything within your body is adjusting. And the biggest thing that is that pointer, because, you know, it'll kind of like fall this way rather than staying at that neutral wrist, because you have to get it around the neck without hitting this part of your pointer finger on that high E. So that's a lot of what's happening there on that left side. And then if the G is just sticking up higher than the other strings because it's thicker, then there goes your shoulder too on the left hand, because your pointer finger is elevated when it's fretting the G if it's sticking up higher at the nut slot, okay? Now, down here, yeah, you need them even. They just need to be even. They all just need to be even all the way across. And pretty darn particularly, I don't care how long it takes you. I don't care if you are setting up your guitar and doing little adjustments to it every day for 4 weeks, like after you get it, right? I don't care. Meaning, you don't have to care what I care about or not, but what I mean is, don't get discouraged about it, because I've had Frank just about a month, and I just did a little adjustment on the saddle again right now, and I've done it so many times to just adjust the compensation depth for that G. But do you see how even it is with the rest of the strings? That's what we need. That's what the human hand needs. And the hand is essentially the shoulder, but really the hand is essentially the arches in your feet. So yeah, because when you're picking, your pointer finger is so commonly on that G string. And there goes your pointer finger, there goes your shoulder, okay? When you're strumming, your pointer finger is huge, because if you're using a pick, I don't ever, but if you are, it's between, probably just about every single time it would be, between your pointer finger and your thumb, right? It kind of would have to be, unless you're doing a strange technique or you just don't have a pointer, right? So even if you're using a pick, your pointer finger is still huge, and we still need to keep that neutral wrist idea of straight out from the pinky and allow that to be as close to that, instead of, like, you know, altering things strangely as you can, because we're focusing on the pointer finger within this video. Right? So trying to keep, because the point, like I'm saying, is the pointer actually comes in a little bit from that middle finger. And so if you're strumming with a pick and you're like back here, you might be feeling a lot of cramping up in here, like in your scapula, your shoulder blade, and like under the rear of your picking arm and into that shoulder. Yeah, I mean, that's because if you're doing like things out of the body's only natural working position, then you're going to cramp up, as I said at the beginning. So yeah, and then when you're finger picking, which is what I do, it's so common that, that's where that placement of that pointer finger will be, is on the G string. So just, as long as you're doing the compensations with the depth, then there you go. It's even and you're good. And then strumming, like when I strum, I just use my fingers like this. This is how I strum. If I'm slowing it down to show, that's actually how I strum. It's a little bit more like tight in, like, right? But then there you go, right? Now your pointer finger is how it would naturally be, lower than your middle finger, right? Instead of any other position, okay? As if you're just wrapping your fingers around your own thumb. I don't have some opinion I'm trying to share. It's just how the hand works, okay? In the Image Clothing Company, universal truths. That's it. Here we go. Done. Sick. Great. Okay, so pointer fingers and guitars, keep them working natural, please, for the sake of your body. But even this, right? See how natural this is right here around the rounding of the guitar body right here? It's because your hands are rounded, and that is a beautiful visual. See, from like the back of my knuckles, there's a rounding, and all the way out to the ends of my fingertips, there's a rounding. That's very much how the hand naturally works, like very close to it, right? I mean, really, it's even a little bit more than that, but that's the point. Because it is even a little bit more than the rounding that's in my saddle, but it's custom, and, if I were to have gone even farther, the frets weren't designed to be radiused, and so, but yes, rounding. Get the body to be able to be open palmed, okay? You can't have an open palm without a rounding in the hands. The ends of the fingertips don't come to straight, flat thing like this, and that's what you're doing when you're trying to play a flat fretboard guitar. That's it. And the hands are not. Dude, I want to like drill that into some people's heads, because I think people get pretty darn like set in their ways about how much they love playing flat fretboard guitars, but then they'll sit there and tell you how much they love their massaging techniques for their hands. So yeah, don't do that. It's just absurd. And it's okay to not know what you don't know. I didn't know any of this, but that's why I had 20 guitars, was to learn all this. And yeah, now I have an entire company about just allowing the human body to work. And speaking out of example, and don't believe me, right? But there it is. Truth is truth. Done. As in, please, end of discussion. I don't need people to be in pain for no reason. And so many people are just saying this and that and whatever about flat fretboards. You can never, as a human being, play a flat fretboard guitar without pain. It is not going to happen. So anyway, there we go. Pointer fingers and nylon string guitars. Like I said, today is the 16th of January, 2025. My name is Evan Strong, and there you go. Do these things, not because I say, but because this is how you're going to keep your body just working. We only get one of them in this life. We are in the Image Clothing Company because our God designed our bodies in his image. And he gave us this thing, and this is all we have in this life. Put all the importance on your guitar that you want, and it's gone at some point, or your body is basically non-existent, but you care about your guitar more because it's flat. Nope, round it. I don't care what you think, because it doesn't matter what I think either, but that's just how the hand works, okay? I'm going to drill some points hard, dude. And if you know In The Image Clothing Company, that's just how it is, because you got to kind of speak some stuff pretty firmly when people might just think you have an opinion, and I don't. I don't care to. So, okay. Thank you. Pointer fingers, and pointer fingers. I'll pick through some stuff, no kind of structure. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'll just kind of mess around for a second, just so you can tell that I like can play as well. Not that you gotta care, but just, I'm not someone with an opinion. Don't believe me about anything. I think I'm gonna go back and forth between the D and the G, two very different sized strings, the ones that those pointer fingers are on so often. And yeah, with that compensation, this kind of thing is so much, I'm not even gonna say so much easier, but it's just allowed to even happen. Otherwise, you're just hurting your body. Yeah. So there you go. Pointer fingers, nylon string guitars, in the Image Clothing Company music. Thank you.